This is 30-Minute Tech Tools. Supercharge your communication with Mail Merge. I'm Dr. Lisa Blue, and I'm a STEM-H instructional specialist at the Faculty Center for Teaching and Learning. So why Mail Merge? For me, it's all about driving engagement and creating relationships. You don't get that with a VCC or a blanket message from your LMS, Canvas, or Blackboard. But you do cultivate that deep relationship when people get a personalized email with their name included and additional touches that we can add. So we'll talk about how to do that in this session. So some of the uses I've had in the past are event invitations, research participation calls. It's great for alumni outreach. If you're looking to have people fill out feedback or survey requests, or if you want student feedback, or you want to send out some student encouragement. We have the 4th week progress reports, but there's always opportunities after each assessment cycle to let students know how they're doing and encourage them to seek help if needed. So to get started with Mail Merge, you only need 3 things: an Excel spreadsheet with the information you want to use, a Word document, and Outlook. So with that, let's go ahead and look at 2 examples of how you could use Mail Merge to supercharge your communications. In the first case, I have a list of participants that have joined the 30-Minute Tech Tools session, and I want to send them out this follow-up message. So I have gone ahead and crafted my message. I wanted to include some links. Note that you cannot include attachments, but you can include embedded links, such as this one to our YouTube channel. And I've included a full breadcrumb trail for a link to our website. Another thing you'll want to include is your signature line. So this is not copied over automatically from Outlook. To get started with Mail Merge, notice I keep all of my non-printing characters in here too, so I can make sure my spacing is appropriate. If you go up to Mailings in your Word document, you want to click on Start Mail Merge, and this will literally guide you through all of the steps. So I want to go to Email Messages. It's my second option there. When I click on Email Messages, notice that it changes how the Word document looks just a little bit. The first thing you want to do is select recipients, and you can type a new list, but I highly recommend that you just start with a spreadsheet like the one I have here, where I've got the first name, last name, and email address clearly identified. You can have all kinds of other information there, but we want first name, last name, and email. So we're going to select recipients. I'm going to use an existing list. And if you've done Mail Merge in the past, this is going to take you to a data sources folder. Just scroll back to wherever this is living. And I happen to keep it in this particular folder. And so we're going to have a 30-Minute Tech Tools follow-up. That is the spreadsheet you see open. And it's going to ask you, which name do you want to select? I always just select whichever one is on top. And note that I have this box checked that says first row of data contains column headers. You want those column headers so that you know what you want to put. You've got a name for what you're putting into your Mail Merge document. All right, so now that I've selected my recipients, notice that Edit Recipient List becomes an option underneath that. This is going to be a very simple Mail Merge. I just need to add a greeting line. When I hit Insert Greeting Line, I have the option to say Dear, To, or None, so depending on the salutation. I always go very informal. You guys know me. So Dear Josh, and then you can add the punctuation. So you can have a comma, a colon, or none. I'm going to go with a comma. And then if there's an invalid recipient name, so suppose that something is not formatted appropriately in your spreadsheet, it can default to Dear Sir or Madam. And then here it has a preview from my recipient list. So we can see that Dom Ashby is the first person on my list. And so it's going to say Dear Dom. And we can literally click through each one of these and make sure that it's going to format appropriately. All right, so that's all I want is my greeting line. And notice that it just showed up right here. So it's very important to have your cursor placed exactly where you want that Mail Merge active field to go before you insert it. So we can also go up here, ABC preview results, and it can drop those results in there. You can see I'm on record 5, so we could paste through it all that way. If you're comfortable with how it's displaying, then we're going to go here and we're going to send email messages. When we click on send email messages, it's going to open up this little tiny dialog box, and we want it to go to, and this to is going to look at all of your column headers. We want to make sure we're going to the email, which is where I have everybody's emails listed. And you'll type in what you want the subject line to read. So I want this to be my 30-minute Tech Tools follow-up email, or I could say 30-minute Tech Tools mail merge, however you want it. And then I always select HTML so it presents pretty. And then we would hit send records. I would want to send all, and then we would hit OK. Now, because I've already emailed everybody on this list with this follow-up email, I'm not going to hit OK. I'm going to hit cancel. So that is our first use case. Our second use case is actually my favorite use case because we are going to talk about how to send encouraging feedback to students. All right, so let's actually make this small. All right, so here you can see that I've actually added a little graphic here. So I did this in Word. So if we were to get rid of the characters, this would look like a graphic. You can absolutely insert graphics in your document. And because this one is a little bit more complicated, I've actually highlighted all the spaces where I want to mail merge. So I'm going to pull this down because I need all these controls. Let's see. Of course, Zoom is hiding everything I need here. Okay, so I want, there we go. So for this particular email, so I've got this nice little banner here, and I'm going to edit. Let's see. So I want to do mailings. So I'm going to pin this because we're working in mailings. And if you wanted to get rid of all these little doodads here, we could go to view and we could get rid of, nope, not view. Here, there we go. So now this looks like a regular Word document. Okay, so what I want to do to personalize this particular email is to say, dear student, but change it to their name. So that's highlighted. I see that you made a grade, so a grade in quotes here, because I actually want to put in their grade that I've downloaded from our learning management system. And then I want to insert an encouraging statement after that based on the grade they received. So very personalized. So I've also included a general statement message to let you know, hey, I'm here to support your success in learning how to mail merge successfully. I've got these office hours. You go to the Student Success Center. I've got my closing, and then again, I've included my signature line because that doesn't pull from Outlook. I had to find this out the hard way. So behind the scenes, these are the messages that I want to send to students. So if they got an A, I want to say, congratulations, your hard work is paying off. B, well done, keep up the hard work. C, yeah, we need to talk about study strategies, and so on. So I would craft this message, and then after I craft this message, I would bring these messages over to my spreadsheet, okay? So notice that with my spreadsheet, I've downloaded the student's last name, first name, email address, their score as contained in the LMS, and then I've personalized their grade. I see that you've made an F or a D, so you can take care of the language here within your spreadsheet. And then this is the message that I want to include. So going back to my Word document, all right, so I would delete this because I don't want that showing up in my document. And one by one, I would go through and I'm going to replace this. So instead of dear student, I'm going to go to mailings once again. I'm going to start mail merge, email messages, select recipients, use an existing list. Again, it's going to take me back to those data sources, but I'm actually going to use this one. Okay, and so there's my sheet 1. Hopefully that has pulled the right sheet. And then I'm going to, let's see, insert a greeting line. So notice I've got my greeting line right here. So dear, I don't want dear Lisa Blue. I want just dear Lisa. And so notice the preview down here. So I'm going to say, okay. So there's my greeting line. I noticed you made A grade. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to add a merge field. So insert merge field is the option for adding different content. So for insert merge field, I'm going to say grade. All right, so I see that you made A grade. Okay, and so I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to delete this because this is going to be my encouraging statement. So I'm going to insert merge field, and that's going to be my message. All right. So now I'm going to go up here and preview results. So dear Lisa, I see that you made an F on exam 1. This probably isn't the score you were hoping for, so let's chat about how to turn this around before exam 2. And you can actually click through each and every one of these, and you see the message is perfectly tailored to each student, the score they made, and the type of encouragement they need to see. Now, quick question though. How did I get this score to turn into a grade, to turn into a message? All right. So I used to do these nested if statements all the time when I was a graduate student doing massive data analysis, but I didn't remember how to do it. So I actually relied on my friend ChatGPT here. And I said, what formula could I use in Excel to assign letter grades, assuming greater than or equal to 0.9 equals an A, etc. Notice I was very lazy in my prompting. And ChatGPT actually gave me an explanation, told me, hey, you know, if the score is in cell A1, then this is the code. And so you can literally come down here and copy the code. Once it's copied, you can bring it over to your spreadsheet, and then you can adjust it. So notice that if D2 is greater than or equal to 0.9, and so you can actually look at the formula here. So I'm looking at the score and assigning, in quotes, the letter grade. And then I did the same thing for which message. So you can automate this completely. So you can send this out to mass numbers of students. And I've actually done this in the past. So whenever I used to teach 3 sections of roughly 250 general chemistry students each, this is how I would send out those personalized, encouraging emails. So that concludes my tech talk for today. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to email me at lisa.blue@eku.edu. And good luck experimenting with mail merge. It's actually a lot of fun. And I noticed that whenever I do send these messages out by mail merge, I get a lot of responses, including, I can't believe you took the time to encourage me. Thank you.